I was at a few clubs when I was younger, but the best was St. Peter's. I think I was given so many good experiences by others that I kind of want to do the same for the kids now. I think I've gone 18 months without playing now. It will be about 20 to 21 months before I'm back playing again. And I think you don't realise what the game gives you until the game's taken away from you. And my first coach was pretty poor, to be fair. Like everything, I guess the first time you play, but I can remember clearly what my first coaching session was. It was definitely not up to standard. The trophies are great, but I think being able to see what they do and maybe feeling like you've played even just a tiny part in someone getting a career out of football or going on to play a good level, or even just enjoying football a lot more and carrying on, some of the lads carrying on playing in the Jersey League every Saturday, then I think that's the best part about doing it. Personally, I believe that the Muratis are the highest level, or the closest you're going to get to the professional game on Ireland in them playing matches on Ireland, because you can't replicate the intensity and the desire that both sets of teams have to win. You put in so much work over the year, or for us, we have the players 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, so we've got 4 or 5 years where we're developing them. Before that, under 16, under 18 Murati. Doing your UEFA B does open up other doors and other opportunities, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to coach at the highest level or as high a level as possible.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Sportscast Jersey. Today we are joined by footballer and local football coach Jody Byrne. How are we doing today, Jody?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you?
Good. Yeah, not bad. Thanks. Not bad. As always on my podcast, I always ask the guest, have they always been sporty? So has sport always been part of your life since a young age?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously we played football together when we were younger. Yeah, all my life, I'd say, even in school, I probably wasn't the best. I was just interested in sports. I played a few different sports, played football, rugby, did a bit of boxing, MMA. Started playing a bit of golf now as well. But yeah, it's been probably my main interest. All I watch, all I do. So the minute I could get a full-time job in sport, it was like a new world to me.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned there we played with each other at St. Peter's for a lot of years. What are your memories of playing football growing up? Be that Murati's, St. Peter's, St. Paul's. What are your memories?
Yeah, I loved it. Like, I think football on the island was great at every level. So I was at a few clubs when I was younger, but the best was St. Peter's. You know, when we were going up, we won a few trophies, and I was quite fortunate to have a lot of good coaches growing up, which I think has kind of moulded me the way I am now and why I like to coach, because I think I was given so many good experiences by others that I kind of want to do the same for the kids now. And yeah, I think in Jersey, in the UK or other places, there's a lot to do. But in Jersey, you've got to put your time into something, because we don't have as many kind of attractions as other places do. So if you're that way inclined, I think you could, sports. That's why I think we get such good success rate getting players into professional sport, more than other places of 110,000. I think just because it's pretty much all there is to do. Well, the best thing to do.
Definitely. And you mentioned about coaches there. Do you want to name drop any of them who kind of you looked up to, or you look back and now you look up to and want to be or have their style within your coaching?
Yeah, I think like you take bits from everyone. Obviously, my dad was my first coach, and then Solly at St. Peter's, Paul Renton, Brian, Elliot now, Peter Flambar, Jody McCarthy. There's, I don't want to miss anyone out, but I think every coach I've had, I kind of see it through the coaching lens now, where I'll see bits that I like, bits I don't, and try and take what I can from it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Obviously he's still playing now. We'll come on to the injury in a minute, but how good has it been to be a part of or with in and around the St. Peter's squad this season?
Yeah, I loved it. Like, I think so. I had a couple injuries when I was 18, 21, and I was kind of losing my love a little bit for playing. I just like, carried on doing it. But last 3, 4 years at St. Peter's, it's just got my enthusiasm right back up, and it's a great club. Like, it's fair play to the people that are involved. I think you need to prioritise the social side of it and psychological side of it. Get everyone on side, and then that's when the trophies will come. Um, but I couldn't fault the club for what they do for a grassroots club. Playing in it is 10 out of 10, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And how good has you mentioned Elliot, but Elliot, Garts, Gary, how good have they been with for the club that since
Yeah,
their introduction?
yeah, excellent. Like, they got the club back going again, and I think their biggest strength lies socially, getting the players on side. Um, their communication with the players is really good. You always know what they want from you. Um, and yeah, I think fair play to them. They put in the work. Elliot is, I think, and Dan have a really high work ethic, and you can see that come out. That they've even in little things like the quality of the pitch and the quality of the equipment around, the quality of the sessions. They want to make sure their standards are high. And I think if you run a good program and you give a good initiative, then you're going to be successful. Um, all the other stuff comes with just putting time into improving yourself as a coach.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Obviously you touched on it there, but you've had a few injuries over the years. You've been out this season with another injury. How tough, firstly, initially when you first get the injury, is it? And then how hard has the rehab been?
Yeah, awful. To be honest, like I've really struggled at first. I think I've gone 18 months without playing now. It will be about 20 to 21 months before I'm back playing again. And I think you don't realize what the game gives you until the game's taken away from you. All the benefits that you get from it physically, mentally. When you lose the game for that long of a period, it's tough. And I was in a bit of a tough place at one stage when you're waiting for operations. I had 2 operations, so I had to wait 3 months for one, then 3 months for the other. So I had about a 6 month period where I'm kind of just there, not recovering, not improving, and it it challenges you. But I think hopefully I can get back. I'm doing all the right things now, but with the job you need to be up and active. So I've kind of given myself one more chance. If I get another long-term injury, then that's my playing day's done. So hopefully I'm doing everything right. So hopefully I'll be back playing and firing soon.
Definitely. And how much did still being around football every day help in those tougher times? And obviously
Yeah.
still part of it, coaching wise.
Yes, it was both. It was hard at times because if you work in football, it can be your job, your hobby, everything you watch on TV, and if football was the thing that was getting you down because you couldn't play it, there was some moments where I kind of couldn't escape from it. But it also, the coaching side of it still gave me that competitiveness. It still gave me that wanting to win and everything that you would get from playing. So it saved me from being too down and thinking too much about missing playing because you could still get that competitiveness and that bite out of coaching. So yeah, it helped, but it was also hard at times.
Yeah, definitely. Just a little touch on or a word on physios and those helping you with the rehab. How good have they been in the support?
Yeah, excellent. Like, that's big positive about St. Peter's as well. You've got used to be Kieran Pack, now Jack McDermott that can give you a lot of help there. I've also had been up at the hospital with Jim, and Jim's on holiday now, but he's been excellent, giving me loads of little challenges, little steps to keep taking. So a 12-month period to recover can seem like a long time, but when you've got a different goal each month, it can start to move that little bit quicker.
Yeah, definitely. And how excited or will you be excited or are you nervous the first time you step on the pitch again?
Yeah, I think everything that you do for the first time is pretty nerve wracking. Like even the jumping and landing stuff, the first time I did it, the first time I squatted, the first time I went for a run was you had to kind of break those barriers. But after the first couple of times, you're excited to go and do it. Like I'm doing 30-minute runs now, and I now look forward to going for a run. So I'm hoping it'll be the same with playing. The first few times I'll be a little bit anxious, but yeah, your kind of confidence will grow each time.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on to the coaching now. When did that first start? Do you remember the first coaching session that you were involved in? Was that always something you wanted to do?
Yeah, my first coaching session was pretty poor, to be fair. Like everything, I guess the first time you play, but I can remember clearly what my first coaching session was, and it was definitely not up to standard. So yeah, I think that was about when I was 17, 18. Dan, Sevier and Brian ran a level 1 course at Highlands College. I went on that and managed to get a job in the community team with Dan. So started off just, the community coach in the after school sessions, the holiday clubs. And I think around after a year, went into the centre. It was the Centre of Excellence at the time with Paul Renton. And that's when my kind of love for coaching really grew, being able to work with players, being able to improve them, obviously taking what I've learned as a player and the technical and tactical information you can give. And I'd say the last 4 years, I've definitely focused a lot more on improving myself as a coach than I have as a player. Yeah, you kind of get a little bit more fulfillment out of it. And it's just great seeing the players develop and myself develop. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned a few names there. You've mentioned them before, but Dan, Paul, obviously you've worked with them for a while now. How good has it been to learn off them over the years?
Yeah, excellent. There's like I say, every coach that you work with, you pick up different bits, and you might think some of that's not for you, but with those two, especially Dan and Paul, they've given me everything I could need to set me up and help me. We have like even just a 10-minute discussion can turn into a 30-40 minute discussion on different styles or what you look for in a player. It's you can't really ask for more than that to be able to just talk about football all day every day. So yeah, definitely in a good position, and probably wouldn't be here without those two. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Wanted to talk about the successful season you had with the St. Peter under 18s. How enjoyable was the whole season? And obviously at the end to have 4 trophies, I think it was. How good was that?
Yeah, for the boys as well. You spend a lot of time with them. I did 2 years in club football. First year with the 18s, came third and got to the cup final, and that was probably about where we are. With the centre, you do a session every week. You've got Fulham, Southampton coming over. You go to play against professional academies, but you probably get 3-4 games a year. So I wanted to put myself into opportunity where it's a game every Sunday, 3 points for a win. You've got to set yourself up. So I kind of selfishly went into club football for my own development, really, to give myself more game understanding and put myself out of my comfort zone a little bit more. I kind of thought if we win trophies, it's a benefit, it's a little positive on the side, but just wanted to develop myself, really. But like the experiences that we've had with this set of players this season, I don't think you could ask for more from it. Like obviously you're only as good as your players, but to see one of them get a pro contract, 2 more going on trial at another club, some of them pushing for Bulls first team. I think that's why you do it, really. The trophies are great, but I think being able to see what they do and maybe feeling like you've played even just a tiny part in someone getting a career out of football or going on to play a good level or even just enjoying football a lot more and carrying on, some of the lads carrying on playing in the Jersey League every Saturday, then I think that's the best part about doing it.
Definitely. And how good is it to see the development of the players themselves and to see little bits that you and other coaches have said to improve and then see them work on it as well?
Yeah, I think like that's the most important part. That's the best part. Like I think any condition you put on your practice should be for player development. Overall, that's why we work in the junior game. We're development coaches, and winning stuff's great. But if you're not doing what you do to develop the player to improve all players, then you probably are working in the wrong area.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously you worked with Carl Benet, but also your dad this year. How good was that? You said he was your first coach, and how good was it to work with him this year as well?
Yeah, I think like as with any family relationships, you're a little bit more comfortable with each other. Maybe you clash a little bit more as well, but with us, it's been an invaluable experience for me. I think he was a little bit ill a few years ago, so he recovered from cancer a couple of years ago. So for us to be able to get this opportunity to do it together and to build more memories is, I'm pretty thankful for it. That yeah, he's all right, and that we can, we've had them times together, so it's been good. Yeah,
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Under 16s Murati this year as well. Obviously, you involved last year in Guernsey. How good has it been to be involved in the Muratis over the recent years? And obviously, what do you think? Firstly, how good has it been under 16 this year when it was yourself as head coach? And how much did you enjoy that day?
yeah. I'd say that's my best day in best day in football. I'd say, not just coaching but playing as well. I think there's a little bit more pressure when you're the lead coach, and personally, I believe that the Muratis are the highest level, or the closest you're going to get to the professional game on Ireland in them playing matches on Ireland, because you can't replicate the intensity and the desire that both sets of teams have to win. You put in so much work over the year, or for us, we have to play as 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s. So we've got 4 or 5 years where we're developing them for that under 16, under 18 Murati. And you look at everything that we do. We're in Liverpool this weekend with the under 12s. Got Liverpool, Blackburn, Burnley, MFS Budapest in the competition. Those opportunities that we give to the kids at a younger age group, really there to hopefully develop us enough to then go and push on and win them Muratis. But again, like same as the under 18s, it's such a good set of players, such a good group of lads that I've got on with. So the best part is seeing them up there. And as I said before, development is important, but when you get to those Muratis, it's, winning's the only thing that matters at the end of it. So if we had that kind of heartbreak in the under 18 Murati. Fair play to Guernsey, they outworked us, and they had that little bit more desire on the day. But we were sure that we weren't going to let that happen with the under 16s.
Yeah, definitely. And apart from that under 18s match, obviously it's been pretty much a red wash the last 2 seasons. Is that down to those, like this weekend, those opportunities for the players to go away and gain experience against these top teams, do you think?
I think so. Like, obviously, the more you play, the better you get. The more you take yourself out of your comfort zone, the harder opposition you play against, the more you'll improve as well. I think with the kind of red wash this year, obviously St. Martin's won the senior Upton last year. This year we quite convincingly won all three Uptons, won all Muratis, bar the 18s on penalties. If we could have done that 18s, it would have been a real one this year. But even like with what we're doing at the club level, entering things like the Kent Cup, and then like for me, I know I work for the performance centre, but the opportunities that the kids get in the 11s, they've just been to Italy to play against Juventus and Torino. The 12s and 11s have just been to Dinard playing a really good competition. We've just played, the 14s just played Diva Lane, 15s went to Madeira. We're off to Liverpool, doing 2 tournaments in Liverpool. So every single one of them opportunities is like a little stepping stone that you're going to get to develop your players for winners. So then comes to Murati time, hopefully we've done all we can to prepare the players well enough. And then also what the clubs are doing on Ireland, like you just need to, if you go to any junior fixture, junior session, we run some sessions in the pre-season with the junior clubs. All the coaches are keen to develop, they all want to improve themselves. And like I think, like we said with Jersey, we've got a really good culture around wanting to develop players, wanting to be as good as we can, and it's proven in the amount of players that we're pushing through, and now the amount of Muratis that we win, how we can judge ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And you're obviously around these younger players coming through, and how bright is the future for Jersey football?
I think really bright. I think like obviously we've had Luke Harris, Callum Osmond, Luca Bacotto, and a few others come through. I don't know if we have any that are on that level, but we seem to be getting more and more attention, even as the older players come through. Lad Shawnee McColgan's off to Gillingham for a week or two's trial. He's going to play in 3 friendlies with them. So that's, I mean, when I was younger, we were kind of told if you're not picked up by 14, 15, then you're done. But Sammy's gone to Swansea at 17, Shawnee's gone, and Pierce Roach going on some trials. So yeah, Sol got picked up at a late age. So I think we're out there now. Our name's out there. People, I think Jersey's a bit of a trendy place to look for players now, especially since Luke. So it used to be harder if you weren't living on the mainland, but I think now that we're getting the same opportunities as the lads on the mainland do, they just get the good quality coaching as early as possible. We just need to try and make sure us as coaches are trying to improve ourselves as much as possible to try and help the players.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Moving on a bit now. Obviously, you do some work for the community and for football in the community. One of those is walking football. Um, how proud are you of the development of that, and how much of a boost or how rewarding is that to run?
Yeah, I think like the working at the top level is great, but it's also great being able to see giving these lads some experiences. Like I think walking football only started in 2012, so up until around 10 years ago, your football career was done at 35, 40. And now we've got guys that are 80 playing, and we've had a lot of feedback from the guys saying that they don't know what they would be doing if they weren't playing walking football, that they hadn't met any of their friends for a while. So it's a technical form of the game because you can't run onto passes or pick up loose passes, but like the biggest benefits that you see from it are socially, psychologically, the physical health that it gives them. And we only started 5 years ago with one session up at Fort Regent. Now we've got about 70, 80 players playing each week in a recreational program. I'm playing myself at the moment just to get a bit back, so it's good for everyone. We've got a link with Jersey Mental Health Services and Mind Jersey. We have 10 players that get free access to the course through that. So like we're helping so many people. And then if you look at the competitive side of it, we've run 4 full seasons in the league, which you've came down and supported a few times. People that are playing competitive football that wouldn't have got that ever. And also in August will be the first Jersey team at any level to compete at a World Cup. And, that's some achievement, I think, to go from one recreational session 5 years ago to giving 12 lads the opportunity to go compete on a national stage. We might not get that opportunity again when the game grows and the bigger countries get more invested in it. So I think, we've got that opportunity now to go over to a World Cup, compete against ex-pros from England, Wales, African countries, Spain. It's pleasing to have been around it and to have seen it grow. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And how excited are those players that are going over and the coaches that are going over to be involved in that? How excited are they?
Yeah, I think that's at St George's Park. So where England train, the pitch is going to be perfect. It will be a once in a lifetime opportunity. Dave Kennedy's taking the team with John Welsh, so 2 people that have been around the game for a long time and deserve that little day out at St George's Park. And who knows? We've been putting a lot of work in. Our league's a really good quality league, so I'm not saying that we're going to beat England or beat Spain, but no one knows in a 40-minute match. And yeah, we've got some good players, so yeah, looking forward to seeing how they do it.
Yeah, definitely. Going to the other extreme, you're in and around the after school clubs and all that. How important is that to get the kids that opportunity to play after school and just give them some minutes on the pitch like that?
Yeah, I think like any research, the more they play, the better they become, and also giving them different ways of playing. So if I was to give any recommendation, I think Brazilian Soccer School do some good work on the technical side of it. We're probably more of a game-based program. that will help them with the game understanding, do a lot of technical work as well, but also look at the psychological side of it, the understanding of the game. And, we do from players that have never kicked the ball to some performance centre players. So there's a complete range of abilities. We can help out anyone, but also doing other sports is important as well. If your goal is to become a professional footballer, you see all the lads that played rugby or did a more physical, strength-based sport, then go on to gymnastics, maybe go on to play at a high level. So yeah, there's loads of different ways to develop, and I think just getting out, getting your kids to go do something is beneficial. We give, if money's an issue, then there's spaces offered through charities that you can sign up to. So yeah, I think anyone, I'd urge them to get down, and if it's not us, get them something they enjoy and get them playing something. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agree. How much do you enjoy being around football every day and working for the JFA? How good a job is it?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. I think it's it's been my passion since I was young. Like I said, football was all I cared about. A few injuries got me down a little bit, but it's all I've been focused on, and to work with a good group of people, to be able to have good conversations about football, to go in this morning. I had a walking football session, so they're like kind of your mates now. All you do is talk about football, and then you've got all the kind of resources that you need to develop. Like I've just passed my UEFA B, so I had to do 4 3-day blocks in Portsmouth over for that, and the JFA helped me out a lot with that. So like if you're into football and you want a career in it, I'd say get experience working part-time, commit to it, figure out what you want to do and find a way to push into it and try to keep developing, take any course, go to any CPD event that you can go to.
Yeah, definitely. Finally, what's next for you? How far do you want to take your coaching? Where do you want to go with your coaching?
Yeah, I'm open to anything. I think Jersey's a beautiful island, and I love living here. I love working for the Jersey FA and working in the performance centre, the opportunities that you get from it. But doing your UEFA B does open up other doors and other opportunities. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to coach at the highest level or as high a level as possible. So at the moment, like no real plans, but I'm looking forward to seeing anything that might be out there and trying to test myself a little bit further. And I think the walking football and the community stuff's great, but I kind of got into coaching football to work with teams in a better players program as much as possible. So I think just looking, I'm open, and see if there's any really good opportunities that come up.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. That's all I've got for you today. Cheers for coming on. Obviously, keep up the good work. And yeah, cheers, Jody.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. That was another episode of Sportscast Jersey. Another episode is coming soon.